Good day, geography learners. Today we're going to be learning about something that is very powerful that happens in nature, also known as tropical cyclones. You may have heard people talk about storms with strong winds and heavy rain, but have you ever wondered how they form and why they are so powerful? Even if we do not necessarily get cyclones in our areas, it's important for us to understand them because they can affect the weather, the ocean, and even the prices of goods and food. People in other parts of the country and the world rely on this knowledge to stay safe. In the video that we'll watch today, we will learn about tropical cyclones, nokuthi akheka kanjani, akhula kanjani, nokuthi athinta kanjani izimpilo zabantu. You will see real examples, simple diagrams, and clear explanations so that by the end, now uzokwazi ukuthi uchazele omunye umuntu. Ngaphambi kokuba siqale, here's something to think about. Do you know a tropical cyclone can be so strong that it can uproot huge trees and carry them far away? Let us find out how nature builds something so powerful. At the end of this lesson, these are the things that you should understand. Kuyini a tropical cyclone? Izimpawu is a tropical cyclone? Conditions that are necessary for the formation of a tropical cyclone? Stages in the formation of a tropical cyclone? The cross-section of a tropical cyclone? The impact of a tropical cyclone emphakathini, emnothweni, nakwezemvelo, kanye nezindlela zokuthi sizivikele nokuthi siphathe ama-effects wama-tropical cyclones. Kuyini ama-tropical cyclones? Tropical cyclones are small, intensely developed low-pressure systems ezihambisana nezivunguvungu ezinamandla kanye nemimoya enamandla. The following are general characteristics of a tropical cyclone. Ama-tropical cyclones aboniswa ngama-isobars that enclose over an intense low-pressure system. Number 2, they develop over tropical and warm oceans between 5 degrees to approximately 25 degrees north and south of the equator. The temperature of the ocean fanele kube ngu-27 degrees Celsius noma ngaphezulu kuze kwakheke the intense low-pressure system. Zikhula endaweni esempumalanga, also known as the East Belt region. They move from east to west and are steered by imimoya yasempumalanga. These are easterly winds. They circulate in a clockwise direction in the southern hemisphere, bese kuba ngokuphambene in the northern hemisphere. They follow erratic paths. That is why it is very difficult for us to predict their ways. They usually develop between late summer and early autumn.
Ukuthi isivunguvungu esikhulu i-tropical cyclone sakheka kanjani? Kokuqala, imagine the warm ocean as a big pot of boiling water. Njengoba amanzi ebila, intuthu iyakhuphuka. In the ocean, this is water vapor rising into the air. Njengoba umoya ukhuphuka, it cools and forms amava, clouds. The water vapor turns into small water droplets. Lokhu kukhipha amandla abizwa nge-latent heat. I-latent heat iyenza ukuthi isivunguvungu sibe namandla kakhulu. Because the warm air is rising, the air pressure at the surface drops. Cooler air rushes in to fill the space, and the cycle repeats itself. Ngoba umhlaba uyajikeleza, nomoya uzungeze isivunguvungu uyajikeleza. Lokhu kubizwa nge-Coriolis effect. As the storm gets stronger, the air pressure at the center drops. This creates the eye. Indawo ithulile emasiphakathini. Around the eye are very strong winds and heavy rain. As long as the storm stays over the warm ocean, iyaqhubeka ukuthola amandla noma iba namandla kakhulu. When the storm reaches the land, it loses its source of energy, the warm ocean, and it begins to die. Ngalendlela isivunguvungu esikhulu sakheka.
Tropical cyclone and the stages in the formation of a tropical cyclone, because these two subtopics lead to another subtopic, which is drawing of a cross section of a tropical cyclone. Yes, I hope you understand. So the examiners may ask you on the exams to draw a cross section of a tropical cyclone. So right now I want us to take a look at the infographic provided there. It's a cross section of a tropical cyclone. It's very important for learners to have a memory of a cross section of a tropical cyclone, because you may be asked in your exams to draw a cross section of a tropical cyclone, including or they may give you maybe out 3 of these things that are shown here. Maybe they can say you must show an eye, cumulonimbus clouds, and the movement of air inside or between the eye walls. Ne? So masijongeni phayana ke. So we already know that a tropical cyclone moves on a westerly direction. Ne? So we can see by the arrow indicated there below, there's an arrow there indicating westerly movement, which is something we already understand. So above the tropical cyclone, there is a high pressure there. So there is air divergence leading to a subsidence of air, which is, it's not just an air, but it's a cold subsiding air. Then below, there is air convergence there, which is associated with warm rising air. So since there is a subsidence of cold air between the eye walls, it was supposed that the warm air rises between the eye walls, but it is blocked by the cold air subsiding between the eye walls, because we know that cold air is denser and faster than the warm air. So it forces the warm air to rise behind it forces the warm air to rise behind the eye walls. Ne? So the warm air rises, condense, and form cumulonimbus clouds that may lead or result to heavy rainfalls, because sometimes you may encounter questions asking you to explain the conditions behind the eye wall, in areas that are behind the eye wall. Ne? So inside between the eye walls, we have clear conditions there. There is no rainfall, there's no air, winds, no strong winds. It's just clear and calm. There are calm conditions there, because sichiluba, there is strong subsidence of cold air. So strong subsidence of cold air blocks warm air from rising. So yeah, that's the only thing we can indicate. So it's important for you to know that above the tropical cyclone, there is air divergence, there's upper air divergence associated with the strong subsidence of cold air between the eye walls, and below there is air convergence there associated with warm rising air. Then we have an eye. Then inside the eye, there's that strong subsiding air which blocks the warm air from rising, forcing it to rise behind the eye walls, which result to the formation of cumulonimbus clouds that result to unstable weather conditions, heavy rainfall, there are strong winds, etc. So yeah, also do not forget to indicate the air movement below there. Yeah, I hope siyavana, siya understand.
I am Princess Masite. I am going to add on whatever my group members had already mentioned. So starting off, I am going to further elaborate the impact of tropical cyclones. Tropical cyclones have many impacts. They have the social impact, whereby there is strong winds and heavy rainfall that may lead to a loss of lives. Dipula le memoya might also lead to the loss of lives. Damage of shelter, dikgobalo, social services like clinics and school may be distracted. We also have the economic impact, whereby there is destruction of infrastructure, agricultural loss, rise in insurance claims due to loss of assets and properties, destruction of economic activities, destruction of tourism industries, job loss and unemployment. Many people bakalathela ke mesebetsi just because of tropical cyclones. So, economic impact has many points. There are also points such as coastal erosion, flooding and soil degradation, damage to the ecosystem, and also water pollution. Mimetsi ya rena e ka senya just because of tropical cyclones. So, as people, if a tropical cyclone was heading your town tonight, would you know what to do in order to survive? So here are some ways that you can use to minimize the impact of tropical cyclones. You can stock up on canned food and water supply, organize a first aid kit, transistor radios and torches, move cattle and other stock to higher ground, place sandbags along rivers and coastal areas to reduce the amount of flooding, educate people, ruta batho about safety strategies to apply when there is a storm. Evacuate plans must be set out. There also be rescue teams to rescue people from flooded areas. There must be a good forecasting system to track and predict tropical cyclones, and warnings should be issued in every possible ways.